All right, my friends, well, we're back in the garage and we've got ourselves a little accessory install video for you today. So you might recall a couple months ago when I was doing my full review of the CFMoto Ibex 450, I said this. I did ride for many hours on this trip in the dark as I was trying to get to trailheads before sunrise. The issue that I had, and I think a lot of people have with LED lights, is that when you're going on really twisty roads, the beam points itself in a very specific direction. Well, here we are a few months later, and I'm hoping to finally remedy that problem by installing some auxiliary lights on the bike. So I did purchase the official CFMoto accessory for the auxiliary lights. These are Denali branded, so they are Denali lights, but they have been at least ostensibly tested by CFMoto to not cause any issues with the electronics. They've also included a wiring harness that's already set up, plug and play. All I have to do is plug in the bullet connectors and it should be good to go. Why did I not just spend 60 bucks and buy auxiliary lights off of Amazon, like the Kuig lights or some of these other lights that people buy? I could have done that. I looked at doing that. I'd rather have peace of mind knowing I bought the lights that CFMoto has given their stamp of approval on, that are warranted, that I bought through the dealer. And so if anything goes wrong with them, I'm good to go. The other thing is I just really like the size and the footprint of these lights. They're smaller, less weight, they're simple. So that's my little disclaimer. Let's get to the actual install. All right, let's see what we've got in the box here. Make sure that we're looking good and we're not missing anything. So we've got our wiring harness all ready to go. We've got, most importantly, our instructions, and then we've got a couple boxes here. So let's take these out. Nice little light. It's all protected. It's branded Denali right on it. So it's definitely Denali brand. So we'll put him aside. So now we've got our two different lights. I don't know if there's a difference between left and right. We've got a random smattering of nuts and bolts in here. And then I'm guessing this is the mount. So another thing that's really important about this lighting option is if you look at the pictures for this light on CFMoto's website, you'll notice they mount to the crash bars. But that's not actually true. They actually mount to a mounting bar that goes under the front of your bike. So that way you can mount them whether or not you have the front crash bars. And also, if you tip the bike over and you bend a crash bar, it's not gonna put one of your lights out of alignment. There you go. So that's how far apart they are. Yeah, just little brackets for the lights themselves, some sort of spacer or something. So a little shimmy spacer of some sort. That is everything. We've got the mounting hardware, the bracket, the nuts and bolts, the two lights, and the wiring harness, and that is it. So this should be a pretty straightforward install. Let's see if we can't keep it simple. All right, next step is to put the bracket together. So we've got our mounting bracket here, and you notice it does tilt slightly in one direction, so we have to make sure we put that on right. This is how it should be mounted, and if we look at the instructions, that is what it looks like. Bent down and kinked back. So something that I've done is I have this just 1/4 inch threaded rod here, and I've just kind of run it through to make sure everything is lined up the same, and it looks like it is. All right, next up we got to put the lights onto the brackets. So pretty straightforward. Just go ahead and mount it. I do find it interesting that they literally don't say CFMoto anywhere on them, they just say Denali. All right, before we get started, there's a few things worth noting. First, I've already taken off the front crash bar just to get us going here, just unscrewing a couple bolts so that we have clear access to this panel. The other thing is I've taken off the seat and I'm about to unplug the battery. First step, we need to get rid of this front panel here. We need to take it off. Following the instructions here, it looks like we've got 3 Allen screws. There are a couple of actual screws. One of them is up under here. I can actually get a screwdriver in there. All right, I think I got it. There's one right here. This one here. Hey, we got it. Oh, okay. we've got it. We got that corner out. Okay, we got that corner out. Okay. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. It does not want to go up here at the top. All right, well, I did, I did get it out. Unfortunately, I didn't have it on camera. The key was just that you have to pull it straight out as opposed to sort of lifting it. You just have to kind of pop it straight out. Now, once we get that out, as you can see, there is a little connector for the turn signal here. So we're just gonna hold a little tab towards you and pop it up. And there she is. So piece of cake. Now we've got this all disconnected. We have access to our panel here. So I've discovered something less than ideal. You can see my right-hand side crash bar coming in, and it has this mounting bracket here. That's the same spot that the accessory lights have to screw in. So I do have to undo this bar as well, and I have to drop down this bracket. But I think if I just take this one bolt out, then I can unscrew this piece and get the lights up there, and then I don't have to take the whole rack off. So let's give that a try. Not in there too badly. Oh yeah. So this mounting bracket for the upper crash bars, it mounts with this sort of notch facing forward, which of course blocks the access to this. And it just frustrates me because if this mounted this way, this could fit right underneath and sit like that. Okay, I figured it out. I'm a dumbass. I didn't need to remove this. I just had the lights bolted on backwards. So this faces forward, and just as I said, how convenient it would be for this to fit in, it does. It's just, it fits in behind like this, and then the lights shine forward. So this still stays the way it's supposed to stay. It's just the bar goes behind it instead of down and in front of it. So this is how it's going to look when it's up in there. You can kind of see. We're going to get this bolted back in because I'm a moron. And then also there is this spacer that comes with it. And I think this is probably if you don't have the crash bars, they want you to add this extra spacer so that the lights drop down enough. But with the crash bars, you're getting that spacer through this bracket. So I am not going to install the spacer. Hey, we got it started. Oh my goodness. So that's what they look like right now. You can see this side. I'm probably gonna wanna bring this down a little bit, but it sits nicely under the bar. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try and get the wiring out. So here's the 2 bullet connectors right here. I'm gonna bring those around to the same side. Really in there, you gotta have skinny fingers or just needle noses. This is why we unplugged the power. Okay, so there they are. The key now is getting access. See if I can get that headlight unplugged, because what we need to do is we need to plug the lights in line with the headlights. Oh my goodness, finally. What a pain. Okay, so, man, I was starting to think I was gonna break something. So you do have to push this little lever down to pull this out. And I basically just cheated by looking at the cable that it comes with and I said, oh yeah, that's the only tab. That's gotta be it. Okay, so we've got our 2 bullet connectors and our headlight connector. What a pain. So what we need to do is we need to get all this wired in. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm not quite sure how this is all gonna look yet. So we'll get there. It's turning out to be a little bit of a difficult job, so keep that in mind. Some of you guys can't see anything I'm doing, and I do apologize. It's just too small to work in here. Yes, okay, I heard a click. Okay, so I don't know how, but I got the plug back up on the little metal prong in there with very tiny fingers and lots of frustration. So that is mounted back up on its little prong. So that just leaves us our 2 bullet connectors, which are right here. I'm gonna just plug the 2 lights in because I just wanna make sure they actually work. And then this is, of course, the switch, which will go up somewhere. They actually have you, yeah, like unscrewing this, literally drilling a hole, and then mounting it to your dashboard. Instead, I think I'm going to go the route of, it has a little sticky on the back, and I'm going to stick it someplace up by my handlebars. What an absolute pain in my butt. We're just going to do that, so you can see I've got them plugged in, I think the right way. We're going to plug the battery in and test it. Here we go. Oh, we have lights. We have lights. Okay, okay. What happens if I press the switch? They go off. They go on. All right, final test. Brights. Brights. Oh, yes. It's working. All right, first things first. Let's get these wires properly inserted into their bullet connectors. There we go. All right, so those are in there pretty good. Okay, and then I'm gonna get that electrical tape. Let's get these together first. How about that? What have we learned, my friends? Well, we've learned that this is not a short job, time-wise. It is tedious. So, what to do with the rest of this mess? That is, of course, the question. We need to sort that out here. All right, so it's been about an hour, and I've just been fiddling with wiring all this time, trying to get it nice and clean. And so I finally got it to a place I like it. I've got the switch running up here to the handlebars, and I've mounted it underneath the ABS switch, so I can just turn it on and off right from my handlebar. We'll see if that holds. The one thing I want to check is to make sure I'm not getting any wires pinched. Good, good. All right, so I think we're good. We have full rotation. High beam, low beam, off. Fantastic. Let's button things up. That's everything. Up top, right there. Got just about everything buttoned up. I've just got to tighten this down to 20 Newton meters. Doesn't seem like enough. I might go a little tighter. Seems pretty dang bright. Normal, bright, normal. Accessory lights, bright. So that is quite a bit more light. Yeah, boy, that's looking really good. Time to take it out for a real test ride. What we're gonna do now that we're down this dark street here is we're gonna turn on, oh, look at that. So it has lit all down below me here. Let me just do a difference. That's on, that's off. So they might be pointed a little low right now. I might want to angle them up just a smidge. So we got low beams, we got high beams, which as you can see is almost no difference. It just shoots a higher light out. So low beams, and then we've got our new lights. So this, you can see they're pointed kind of low, but it definitely gives me more width. Now if I go high beams, that is a lot of light. I still think they might be pointed a little bit low, so I think I'm going to bring them up just a smidge. But that compared to that, quite a difference, right? It was not an easy job. It was a lot of finagling with tiny spaces and wires. Anyway, I'm going to make a quick adjustment to the lights and bring them down just a smidge here, and then I think we should be good. Let's take a look, see if they're any better. All right, standard lights. That looks much better. Brights, Wa-boom! That is fantastic. Look at all that light. Oh my goodness. All right, guys, take care. Be safe out there. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. One other hack that I think is really cool that I just discovered is if you look here on the bike, there's this rubber grommet just above the reservoir. And if you pull this out, there's a space in here, perfect size to stuff a little baggie with like your registration and insurance information, or maybe a tiny little toolkit or something. I definitely plan to utilize that for something.